Good evening from the News Channel 8 Online Center. In just a moment, we're going to have a phone number for you as well as the News Channel 8 website address for information on prostate cancer. This year alone, 41,000 men will die of prostate cancer. We've teamed up with Moffitt Cancer Center for a special series of reports, Private Matters, Secrets to Prostate Health. We begin with increasing awareness.
I was having lunch with one of my colleagues at where I was working at the Chamber of Commerce. As a result of that luncheon, I decided to go and get myself checked. And ultimately came back and said, "You have prostate cancer."
Bob Samuels got the news 2 years ago. Like so many men, he had never given prostate cancer a single thought, had never heard of a PSA blood test.
Women and other AIDS supporters are organized around their issues. We are just now in the beginning phases.
Bob turned his experience into a crusade. He's active in several support groups and helped establish a men's cancer resource center at the Tampa Public Library, filled with information about prostate and other cancers affecting men. He's also devoted to teaching men and women about prostate cancer.
Because we feel that an educated female will go home and tell her husband, brother, son, father, whomever.
More than 317,000 new cases of prostate cancer will be diagnosed in the U.S. this year. More than 41,000 men will die. African American men have the highest rate of prostate cancer in the world. The incidence is 37% higher for black men than for white men. Black men are also more likely than white men to be diagnosed at a younger age, in their 50s rather than their 60s. Bob Samuels was 56 when he was diagnosed. He received radiation treatment at Moffitt Cancer Center and is doing fine today. But he remains focused on increasing awareness.
So if we can make you more aware so that you'll go get a test, then we've done our job. And if we can comfort you when you find that you've got this disease and we're there to help you, then we've also done our job.
This isn't just a disease of old age either. Men in their 30s and 40s can also get prostate cancer. Find out more on the News Channel 8 webpage. Check it out on the World Wide Web at WFLA.com. You can also call Moffitt's Cancer Answers line at 1-800-456-7121 between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. And we just wanted to mention that at noon today we had a phone bank with experts from Moffitt Cancer Center. We got 275 calls, more than half of them from women.
And also, significantly more than the last time you had a series of reports on prostate, which says at least a lot more people are paying attention to this.
Which is what we wanted.
Exactly.
Good.
Well done.
Thanks. More than 300,000 men in this country will be diagnosed with prostate cancer.
It's something that hits close to home for many families. This week, News Channel 8 was teamed up with Moffitt Cancer Center to increase awareness. Health specialist Irene Mayer has more.
Prostate cancer is a killer disease that's 90% curable if diagnosed early. Trouble is, most men avoid getting checked, but some of the lucky ones have their wives to thank for urging them to get to the doctor.
I grieved the loss of health for my husband, and I was horrified that at his age this had happened because it's not supposed to happen at this age.
Jackie Potenziano is a Tampa police officer. Her husband, Lieutenant Louis Potenziano, is too. At his wife's urging, Louis went to the doctor to have a suspicious mold checked. His doctor suggested a PSA blood test. It revealed prostate cancer, unusual in a 42-year-old man.
I cried for 2 weeks. I was no help to him at all initially, and I'm sorry for that, but it was very devastating.
But Jackie rallied and quickly became her husband's greatest support. Together, they researched prostate cancer and treatment options.
Some of the side effects or problems that go along after treatment are things that are, for the most part, are fixable. But if a cancer is let advance to a certain stage, it's not a fixable problem.
Louis had surgery and is today considered cured. He and Jackie are outspoken advocates of prostate cancer awareness and early diagnosis.
It's a success story as far as I'm concerned, and that's why we want to stress men need to get their PSAs taken care of so that they can be success stories too.
In most cases, the only way you will know you have prostate cancer is through a doctor's exam and a PSA blood test. All men 50 and over should be screened each year. You can call Moffitt's Cancer Answers line at 1-800-456-7121 for more information. I'm Irene Mayer, News Channel 8.
And that Cancer Answers line is open from 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. Tomorrow, we'll take a look at who's most at risk for prostate cancer. You can also find out more about prostate cancer by visiting our News Channel 8 website at www.wfla.com. Tune in at noon for a phone bank and information on free prostate screenings offered by Moffitt Cancer Center.
Prostate cancer is a killer disease that's 90% curable if detected early. The key, though, is getting tested. Unfortunately, it's something so many men would rather put off and something so many men still don't know about. In tonight's special report, Private Matters, Secrets for Prostate Health, Advice from Survivors. James Henderson's story is typical.
I went in, the doctor asked me when I'd had my last PSA, and I told him I'd never had one. So he suggested, in fact, we took one that day.
Louis Portenciano went to the doctor to have a mole checked.
He looked at it and says, the mole's no problem, but let me do a physical on you, and I'll run a test called a PSA. And I didn't know idea what that was about. And I said, sure, it's a blood test, he told me. I said, okay.
Both men were diagnosed with prostate cancer. It happened to Bob Samuels, too.
With no physical symptoms or no pre-warning at all.
This year, more than 300,000 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer. It takes a digital rectal exam, or DRE, and a blood test known as the PSA, or prostate-specific antigen test.
If a patient has an abnormal rectal examination or an abnormal PSA, then we proceed with further testing, such as an ultrasound and biopsy of the prostate.
Most men are over age 65 when diagnosed. James Henderson was 66. African American men tend to get it at a younger age. Bob Samuels was 56. But very young men are diagnosed too. Louis Portenciano was just 42. Here are the current guidelines for prostate screening. Men age 40 and over should have a digital rectal exam, or DRE, each year. And men 50 and over should have a DRE and a PSA blood test each year.
Yes.
How many men have really fallen under that? I bet not too many.
No, I do. Most men don't like having a blood test and certainly don't like having a digital rectal examination. But it's important.
Testing for prostate cancer could save your life. For more information on prostate cancer, visit the News Channel 8 website at WFLA.com. You can also call Moffitt's Cancer Answers line at 1-800-456-7121 between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Did we have those reversed?
I think so.
Okay.
That's okay.
Incidentally, today our phone bank with Moffitt received 443 calls. Again, most of them, or many of them, from women.
So some of the silence is being broken finally.
Absolutely. Coming up tonight at 11, we'll tell you who's at risk for prostate cancer.
All right, Irene, thanks. News Channel 8 has teamed up with Moffitt Cancer Center to increase prostate cancer awareness.
In just a few minutes, we'll have a phone number for you to get more information. But first, here's Irene with more on the Private Matters Secrets to Prostate Health.
Are you at risk for prostate cancer? Is your husband, father, grandfather, or uncle? At age 50, men have a 30% chance of getting prostate cancer, and the risk increases as you age. At 80, the chance is 80%. Here's more on risk factors and what you can do about them. One of the biggest risk factors for prostate cancer is being African American. Black men have the highest rate of prostate cancer in the world.
I mean, the idea of a digital rectal exam in the minds of some males is like, no. I think I'd rather die first. Well, unfortunately, some of them will.
Another major risk factor is age. The older you get, the greater your risk. Most men will be diagnosed at age 65, but black men tend to be diagnosed younger, in their early 50s. Family history is also a risk factor. Having a father, brother, or uncle with prostate cancer.
And the more relatives one has with prostate cancer, the more the chances.
So we'll start with the biceps. If you pull up your sleeve a little.
Moffitt Cancer Center is also looking at body fat distribution as a risk factor for prostate cancer. Seemingly lean men may have more body fat than muscle and may be at risk. At one time, they were athletic.
And suddenly discontinued that in their 4th or 5th decade of life are probably at higher risk for prostate cancer.
Although the cause of prostate cancer is unknown, there are some things you can do for prevention. First, eat a low-fat, high-fiber diet. Maintain your ideal body weight. And exercise at least 30 minutes 3 or 4 times a day. But most importantly, have a prostate screening. A doctor exam and PSA blood test could save your life.
We've got a long way to go to re-educate males as to the benefits of preventive health.